Today we're looking at yet another attempt to plumb the depths of the now creatively bankrupt, loot-driven, live service shooter well with Square Enix's Outriders. But before we get to the impressions, I'd like to take some time to pathetically plead with any who are watching out there to maybe consider subscribing and sharing on social media if you enjoy this video. The algorithm bloody loves it, mate. Also, feel free to leave a like or a dislike. Finally, I'm trying out a new format with this impressions video, which, depending on how it turns out, I may use from now on. It's a little less wordy and more concise, which would allow for a quicker turnaround when it comes to first thoughts. With all this in mind, it would be awesome for any who have the time to maybe check out some of the older impressions videos after watching this to compare, and leave a comment letting me know which you prefer. Right, with all that said, let's get on with this fucking dumpster fire. So, what the fuck is Outriders? I don't know. Just kidding. Outriders is the new looter shooter from publisher Square Enix and developer People Can Fly. Announced at E3 2019, back when we could actually be in the same room with other people, Outriders was initially supposed to release in December of 2020, having reportedly started development all the way back in 2015. However, thanks to COVID, the release date was pushed back, and the game will now reportedly launch on April 1st, 2021. Taking place in a science fiction setting, the developer and publisher have promised players a high-octane looter shooter with a serious tone and engrossing narrative. Reportedly, People Can Fly wanted to prove that they were capable of telling a more serious story after their last game, the very tongue-in-cheek Bulletstorm, a claim that, if this initial taste of the game is anything to go by, they may have failed to live up to by some margin. But before we get into what the game doesn't do so well, let's start with... So, all in all, there's not much here that we haven't seen before. Gameplay feels fine enough, although not as tight as some of its peers. It has some interesting combat mechanics and abilities, and the story seems like it has some nice ideas that could put a new spin on well-trodden concepts. Graphically, there are some nice biomes later on in the demo, but unfortunately a lot is relatively unimpressive. So, while I know this is a demo, it seems to me like Outriders has some significant issues, many of which may not be fixable with patches. First of all, the writing here is corny to the point of unintentional hilarity. The planet Enoch. Humanity's last damn chance. Damn. In the title crawl. Okay. That's some bold... cheesy shit. While some of this is mitigated by some of the voice acting, which in itself swings wildly from high quality to straight up terrible.
Do the right thing! Call it in! Postpone the fucking landing!
It's too late. Sure, maybe this is really it. Maybe we can finally stop sleeping with our guns under our pillows, stop worrying about food every goddamn day. Believe me, boss. I want this to work. You have no idea. But, people don't change.
Still got your money on black, huh?
The house always wins.
That was fucking hilarious. Do it again. A lot of what's on display here made me either cringe or laugh uncontrollably for pretty much the entire demo. And considering the idea was to make something less humorous and more serious, I'm not sure this is a good sign. Such writing also does a lot to undercut some genuinely excellent ideas, which is a shame, like the time jump into the war-torn planet that our protagonist experiences out of absolutely nowhere. Also, some of the character motivations don't really make sense or follow any logic. Like, why don't any of the settlers wear helmets when they arrive on the alien world? I get that the air is reading as breathable, but what about the fauna or anything else that could be there that could kill you instantly? What did I say? wear a fucking helmet. Also, why do characters place you in situations beyond your control and then lambast you for it only a few scenes later?
What are you doing?
I'm putting you back into cryo until MedLab can save your fucking life.
Don't be ridiculous. I'm done for.
Pep talks aren't really my thing.
Hold on. I've just woken up to mud and shit. I've been asleep for God knows how many years.
31 years. So for 31 years, I've been seeing people fight and die while you were getting comfy in cryo. So excuse me for not throwing you a little welcome party.
You put me in there,
What
you
happened?
dickhead. Secondly, the general lack of originality in a lot of the gameplay loop means that long before this demo even ends, things get quite dull. This criticism is further bolstered by an uninspired loot system, which at no point made me excited to get and equip new gear. Finally, the camera work is often borderline vomit-inducing during cutscenes, which, considering it was clearly an intentional choice to elicit a sense of realism, just doesn't work. Couple this with some awful facial animations, generally mediocre visuals, and weird, unnecessary uses of cutscenes, and you have a game that is often unremarkable at best and hilarious at worst. Considering how long this game has been in development and its proximity to release, I was genuinely shocked how much jank there was in this demo. I played through it once on PC and once on console, and while it was notably better on PC, there is still a lot of issues on both formats. Audio doesn't line up, animations bug out, geometry can be weird, sometimes there's no sound at all, the list just goes on and on. I understand a lot of this stuff can be fixed, but it just doesn't give the best impression this late in development. Time will tell, I guess. Also, on top of all of this, there were several notable visual issues, both during cutscenes and gameplay throughout, such as weird character movement and animation, characters not appearing at all, and models getting stuck on geometry. Finally, for transparency, I can tell you that all the footage you're seeing here was captured on PC at ultra settings. So yeah, not great. All in all, things are just not looking too polished, at least with this demo. So it might seem like I've been overtly harsh on Outriders, but while I went in with few expectations, I'm genuinely hopeful that time will heal some of these wounds. While it does have some interesting narrative and mechanical ideas, its current lack of polish, inconsistent writing, and more generic elements, coupled with notable jank and bugs, means that I worry that Outriders might have its work cut out. The demo is free now on PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC, so maybe give it a try for yourself. But for me at least, there's better on offer out there in the live service looter-shooter space right now. So, with all of that said, I want to know what you guys thought of the Outriders demo. Let me and everyone else know in the comments below. Also, as mentioned at the start of the video, let me know what you think of this new format I'm trying out here, and maybe also give the video a like or a dislike and a share. Thanks again everyone, and stay safe out there.